Welcome to the Simplicity of Wellness podcast. I'm your host, Amy White, board-certified holistic nutritionist, certified life coach, and women's weight loss specialist. This show is for real women living real lives, women who are tired of extremes, done with quick fixes, and ready to feel better in their body without turning their life upside down. Here, we focus on simple, sustainable strategies that work in your actual life. We talk about food, metabolism, mindset, and the quiet shifts that lead to real transformation. Let's get started. Hello, Simplifiers. Welcome back. You've probably noticed that what used to work doesn't anymore. You're eating less, you're skipping foods, you're doing what the plan says, and the scale is barely moving. Or it moves a little and then comes right back. And somewhere along the way, someone probably told you the answer is to eat even less. Food is information. If you're not getting results, the problem isn't the amount, it's the message. Today I want to talk about something that changes everything for women over 40, and it has nothing to do with cutting calories. It's called macronutrient redistribution, and by the end of this episode, you're going to understand exactly why rearranging what you eat quiets hunger, eliminates cravings, and creates the kind of natural weight loss that actually lasts. Let's get into it. Here's the thing most women are getting wrong. They focus on how much to eat rather than focusing on what they're actually eating and what that food is telling their body to do. Eating clean is not the same as eating enough protein. Both look healthy, only one quiets hunger. You can eat a beautiful, clean diet, salads, whole grain, fruit, low-fat everything, and still be hungry all day. Still have cravings that feel demanding. Still be in that exhausting cycle of doing well until 3 p.m. and then finding yourself in the pantry. That's not a willpower problem. That's a macronutrient problem. After 40, your body responds differently to food. Muscle mass starts to decline, which slows metabolism. Hormonal shifts, especially around perimenopause and menopause, change how your body processes carbohydrates and stores fat. Your insulin sensitivity can shift, your hunger hormones become less predictable. What worked at 32 doesn't work at 45. Not because you changed what you're doing, but because your biology changed what it needs. Hunger is communication. When you're hungry 2 hours after a meal, your body isn't weak. It's telling you that the food you ate didn't have what your body needed. What does macronutrient redistribution actually mean? It means you're not eating less food. You're reorganizing what foods you are eating. More protein, less sugar, less refined carbohydrates, moderate fats. That shift, that redistribution changes what your body does with your meals. It changes your hunger. It changes your cravings. It changes how you feel between meals. Let's break each one down. Think of protein as the anchor. This is the non-negotiable. During a fat loss phase, I like to see protein at 30 to 40% of your total daily calories. That's higher than most people eat, way higher than most standard nutrition guidelines recommend. Here's why it matters. Protein is a satiating macronutrient. It triggers the hormones that tell your brain you've eaten enough. It preserves lean muscle, which is critical after 40 because muscle is your metabolic engine. And it has the highest thermic effect of any macronutrient, meaning your body burns more calories just processing the protein. When protein goes up, food noise goes down. Research confirms this. In one study, women eating 35% of calories from protein were twice as likely to lose 10% of their body weight compared to women eating only 20% of their calories from protein. Protein anchors the day. It's not a side dish. It's the main event at every single meal. Here's where it gets interesting. Carbohydrates and fats live on a seesaw. When one goes up, the other should come down. And during a fat loss phase with my clients, I like to see both staying under 100 grams per day. For carbohydrates, I like to see total carbs at about 80 grams or less during a fat loss phase. not zero, not a strict keto approach, just enough reduction to quiet the blood sugar swings that drive cravings. When blood sugar is stable, cravings lose their power. That demanding voice that says you need something sweet at 3 p.m., it gets quiet. Reducing refined carbs and added sugars isn't about following rules. It's about turning down the noise so your body can actually tell you when it's hungry versus when it's reacting to a blood sugar crash. For fat, moderate fat, somewhere around 50 to 80 grams per day, helps you with satiety and also helps quiet sugar cravings. Fat slows digestion. It keeps you full longer, and it signals satisfaction in a way that low-fat diets simply don't. The goal isn't restriction, the goal is redistribution. You're not eating less food, you're eating food that works for you instead of against you. So what actually happens when you make this shift? The first thing most women notice is that the food noise gets quieter. That constant background hum of thinking about food, wanting something, negotiating with yourself, it settles down. Not because you're white-knuckling it, because the biological signal driving it, blood sugar instability, inadequate protein, has been addressed. The second thing that happens is you stop snacking, not because you told yourself not to, but because you genuinely aren't hungry. Your last meal actually satisfied your body. The cells got the nutrients they needed and told your brain to stop looking for more food. This is a natural calorie deficit. You eat less without trying, not because you're depriving yourself, but because your body doesn't need more. This is fundamentally different from calorie restriction. Calorie restriction creates a sense of scarcity. Your body fights back. Hunger increases, cravings intensify, willpower gets used up, and eventually you quit. Macronutrient redistribution works with your biology, not against it. Your hunger hormones are supported. Your blood sugar is stable. Your muscles are being protected. And your body, finally working with adequate protein and balanced blood sugar, starts releasing stored fat naturally. You've probably noticed that when you do eat protein first, a real protein-forward meal, you feel different afterward. You don't have that anxious, I need to eat again soon feeling. You feel actually satisfied. That's not a coincidence. That's your biology doing exactly what it's supposed to do when you give it what it needs. I want to be clear about something the research consistently confirms, and I think this is actually good news. There is no single perfect macronutrient ratio for every woman. What the research shows is that adherence matters more than precision. Some women feel better with more fat and fewer carbs. Others do better with a little more carbs and less fat. The seesaw can shift. What stays consistent is that protein is high and blood sugar stays calm. In maintenance, once you've reached your goal weight, protein can drop back to 20 to 40% of calories. You make up those extra calories from carbs and fats in whatever ratio feels right for your body. That's the personalization that happens over time. But during the fat loss phase, the framework is clear. Structure, not restriction. It's not about dieting for the rest of your life. It's about creating a metabolic rhythm that works for you in your everyday life. Let's talk about the real goal here, because it's not just weight loss and it's not just macros. The real goal is food freedom. Food freedom means you eat what you want when you want, without throwing your body out of balance. Not because you have iron willpower, but because you know how food affects your body. You can feel what works and what doesn't work. You know what to eat most of the time, what to eat some of the time, and what to eat rarely. And that knowledge comes from your own experience, not from someone else's rules. Right now, a lot of women I talk to are eating carefully and still feeling out of control. That's the paradox. You can eat healthy on paper and still feel like food is running your life. Still feel like you're one bad day away from starting over. That's not a discipline problem. It's an information problem. Your body hasn't had the right inputs to feel genuinely calm around food. When protein is high and blood sugar is stable, things shift. The food urgency goes away. Food stops feeling like a negotiation. You stop thinking about what you're not allowed to have and start trusting what your body is actually telling you. That's when real women living real lives with jobs and families and Friday nights and vacations can stay consistent. Not because they're following a strict plan, but because they've learned to work with their own biology. That's what sustainable weight loss actually looks like. That's your body working with you. That's the metabolic rhythm you can live long term. What I want you to walk away with today is this. Weight loss after 40 isn't about eating less. It's about eating smarter. It's about giving your body the protein it needs to protect muscle and quiet hunger, reducing the carbohydrates and sugars that drive blood sugar swings and cravings, and moderating fat in a way that keeps appetite calm. When those three things come together, hunger becomes manageable, cravings lose their grip, and you stop fighting your body and start working with it. That natural calorie deficit, the one that doesn't feel like deprivation, that's what creates real, lasting results. You don't need more willpower. You don't need a stricter plan. You need a smarter arrangement. What's really going on is simpler than you think. Redistribute the macros. Trust the biology. Get out of your own way. If you want to know exactly how to apply this to your life, your meals, your schedule, your body, book a free 60-minute coaching session with me. The link is in the show notes. We'll talk about how you can make this food freedom framework yours. Check the caption for the link, and I'll see you in the next episode.